Hello everyone. Today is January 30th, 2018. And if you're watching this, thank you. You might be thinking, hey, what happened to that guy? Last year I pretty much didn't make videos. The end of 2016 I really didn't make videos. I kind of just, I don't know, stopped. Just wasn't feeling it. A lot of like the older people that, not older people, but the older people that have been like followed me for, the last 7 years kind of, dwindled off. So my viewership was down, commenting was, next to nothing. And granted, I wasn't putting out high quality videos, but, just my kind of normal day-to-day gardening life. And that's kind of how I always do things. That's not going to change. But going into 2018 season, like I said, today's January 30th. So we're still about a month away from starting any actual seeds. But I wanted to kind of go over things with you all and ignore the background. Hope you can see me okay in my messy office here. As I'm getting things together for looking at seed catalogs and doing this and that, I want to give an overview about the last year and a half. Last June, my wife and I had a baby. He is now coming up on 8 months old. He'll be 8 months old at the end of next week, middle of next week. So that took up a lot of time in the summertime. And this past 2017, April to May to June, all it did was rain here. And the other people that were in, kind of central, southern, even northern Ontario, all you had was rain. And I lost a lot of crops last year in the field. I had a lot of things buried. I had a lot of drip lines even buried that were in raised hills, and it's like, it was outrageous. I tried a few new methods of things last year as far as growing through shade cloth by burning holes in it and having holes every 6 inches, and I've seen it done by other people on YouTube and they had good success. But to me, it wasn't the shade cloth, the weed barrier wasn't my issue. It was the soil and this sort of thing. Because in my long greenhouse, if you can picture that, it's now 60 feet, not 80 feet long, but still I call the long greenhouse. The soil was always used in raised beds. So the areas where the raised beds were, where that got a little bit of fertilizer or got added horse compost over the last 3 years, I think, of having that greenhouse, they did well. But then everywhere else, just the weeds came up, and and everything was rushed because of the baby. As far as I had a certain amount of time up until he was born to kind of go and get everything ready. But he was born on June 6th, so your outdoor plantings don't even start on June 6th. So I had to really rush, and plus the weather, and I mean, I don't want to give too much more excuses, but it's the truth. I really didn't feel like it was worth putting any content out. And I know I had a couple kind of hateful comments. I pretty much deleted most of them because it's like, I don't need to see that. And basically saying, do you always have crop failures? You never show us anything other than planting or seeding. Do you always fail? You fail this, fail that, blah, blah, blah. And to me, it's like, be a little bit more respectful. Ask questions. Say, hey, did you have a crop failure? Not, oh, another crop failure this year. We don't have any harvest videos. Okay, whatever. And again, to each their own. If you want to think that way and comment on that way, then go ahead. I'll just delete it. I don't really care at this point. But getting back into this season, things are going to be done a little bit differently. For one, my wife and I were in the process of actually looking for some new land, not to farm for the garden, but to move our horse business there. But that will not happen or have an impact on this year's growing season. But because the baby's here and she's busy with lessons, we have a busy kind of summer as far as days that I'm allotted to do growing. And I mean, you think, well, I do 20 minutes here, 20 minutes. It doesn't work that way. Anybody that does growing for a farmer's market, a CSA, restaurants, it's not 20 minutes here or there. It's, you got to have blocks of time in the beginning of the season to get everything ready and going. And then you have to have blocks of time throughout the season for maintenance and for harvesting, especially if we do a farmer's market. I'm planning on doing the same one I did the last 3 years, the one in Alliston. If you ever have questions of where that is, just Google Alliston, Ontario. It's about 20 minutes from here, 25 minutes from here. And I'm really going to cut back on a lot of things. I'm not going to go to plant 300 peppers. Last year, peppers, they didn't even sell. And it's not like I wasn't the only one not selling it. No one wanted to buy green peppers. If you had red ones or orange ones, they sold, but I didn't have those. So this year, I want to try to branch into doing orange or yellow or red. Again, that might all fizzle out. I might end up doing 100 green bell peppers. But you know what? That's fine. I'm not going to try. I'm going to try to really reduce the stress this year and, you know, kind of do things as they come. And I always get so worked up at the beginning part of the season because you want to get things in early. But you know what? Is it really that important to get things out 2 weeks before the next guy? No. I'm hoping we have a nice, warm, hot summer this year that's a little bit drier compared to last year. And anyway, I'm going to ramble on too much, but I'm going to try to do more videos, maybe not weekly, but on somewhat of a regular-ish schedule if I can. If things go well, I'm going to do that. I'm definitely going to do some hydroponic videos. I kind of dabbled with some rail systems last year. I had used 10-foot downspout rails, which I might go into in another video. But use those kind of. I didn't buy stuff from like AM Hydroponics or these places that are quite expensive, especially to ship here, unless you want to go full commercial. And I'm not anywhere near that stage, and probably never will. But point being is, a lot of people are against hydroponics. A lot of people like it. You can do organic hydroponics. I don't think I'm going to jump into doing that this time. Maybe for next year when I have a little bit more time and space to kind of plan things throughout the winter. But nevertheless, the hydroponic glass I did last year, people loved it at the market. I sold out almost every week. I'd sell maybe 20 or 22 bags a week, 200-gram bags, so that's what, a half pound roughly. Granted, some weeks I had 30 bags, I didn't sell 30. But, you know, I was producing enough to sell as much as I could as needed at the market. Granted, the market is small. There's a vendor that moved in last year who I still believe that he buys in most of his stuff, but no one ever looks into it. So only thing I can do is say, hey, I think someone's doing something that shouldn't be allowed. But it's not up to me to look into it. It's not my job as a vendor. That's a manager's job or the town's job. But regardless, he took a lot of sales. You know, I used to sell a quart of tomatoes, you know, various size tomatoes for $4. Last year he was selling 3 quarts for $4. So it's hard to compete, which is very deterring me from wanting to continue doing markets. If that's how it's going to be regulated, which pretty much means it's not regulated, I want to go into doing other things as far as selling to restaurants, or maybe selling to specialty like a Whole Foods, which we don't have a Whole Foods here. In town we have one called Harmony Foods, I think, which is kind of like an organic store, and restaurants, and just to get more kind of a set income in a sense every week. I like doing the market, but it's a pain in the butt. And if people don't buy and you bring home tons of stuff, or if you have huge competition where people are undercutting you left and right, where there's no need for, people will pay $4 for a quart of tomatoes. You don't need to sell it for $1 a quart, which is basically what it would end up being. But again, it's not my decision. I'm going to do seedlings again this year, so I will have seedling videos again. Probably not as crazy as I have in the past. Everybody knows how to grow peppers and tomatoes. If you don't, look at my earlier videos. I have some videos that have a few thousand views from seeding peppers, and I never have failures with that type of stuff. But I will post things on the Facebook group, Eagle Valley Produce. To search that, Eagle Valley Produce on Facebook if you're on Facebook. And you know, I have pictures from throughout the season from the market, from seedlings. I even have a couple hydroponic stuff up there as far as pictures or maybe some videos. I'm not sure exactly what's there. But go check it out. And if there's any questions that you guys have had, people that are still watching, from the last time I actually made videos to up until now, or what my plan is for this year, ask questions. I love questions. I mean, I'd love to get into doing Q&A videos if I have enough type of questions or enough comments. I'd be happy to do that type of stuff. So hopefully this year I can make it a real good year, kind of scale back what I'm doing for certain things, but scale up what I'm doing for the hydroponic stuff. That's my goal. I'm going to spend the money this year to try to get a good foot in the door to really learn what's going on, and not really what's going on, but learn how to produce things hydroponically that I can have consistency from week to week. Anyway, thanks for watching. Put your comments below, questions, what have you. Check out Eagle Valley Produce on Facebook. And there you go. So I'll see you in the next video, hopefully not too far from now. Thanks for watching.